welcome again, Maxim here, and in this video I will talk about the operators, their skills, and how to gain focus. Of course, there's no way to avoid some spoilers, as the operators are related to the story quests, and are available after a few of them. There will be major spoilers from these story quests. The operators are young people who developed unique skills after the incident on the Zarimman 10-0. The most important skill is the transference, the ability to manipulate objects that are distant in space and perceiving the world from their perspective. I'm talking about the Warframes. Operators over the years developed their skills in special schools that had different goals and approaches to their powers. Operators are also capable of using amps, special weapons that are powered by the void, power hidden inside their bodies. Let's start with the basics of using the operator. Being in the operator's form, you can hide in the void while crouching. In this state, you can jump at short or long distance, depending on whether you tap or hold the jump button. This is a void sling. You can also perform a dash without crouching, by pressing the jump button at least twice, where the second and all the subsequent presses define the length of your jump. Left mouse button fires the basic amp attack and secondary attack with the heavy melee attack button. Operators now also have two skills that can be activated by the same buttons as Warframe skills. Which skills you have depend on active operator skill. For a quick return to Warframe, push the basic melee attack button. Now, let's talk about the skills. You can activate one of the specific skills at a time. Each skill gives you some active and passive skills, but there are also perks that can be activated globally and are always active, no matter which skill you choose. But first things first. After completing the second Dream story quest, you will have access to the skills. You can earn points for them in two ways, with and without lens. The lens is an item that allows you to convert a certain percentage of the experience you gain into focus points. With these points, you can unlock and upgrade individual skills in schools. Now you can see what types of lenses are available, how many percent of experience gained are converted into points, and where to get specific ones. You can place the lens in Warframe, weapon, or even in an amp. You can use more than one at the same time, all for the same skill, or all for different ones. It is up to you. However, to get focus points at all, you need to do one more thing. In most missions, you have to wait for a special symbol to appear. After picking it up for 45 seconds, you will earn focus points for experience. Plus, you will get 5000 points to currently active focus skill. The exception to this rule is the Sanctuary Onslaught. There, you gain focus for 45 seconds after entering the portal to the next zone. So, which places are good to farm focus? Sanctuary Onslaught, Hydron will be good too, but you can also try Extermination Adaro on Sedna with Sleeping Equinox or Banshee to get Silent Kills bonus. After killing a few mobs, the focus symbol will appear. After collecting and using it, you can wait a moment for another to appear, or just run to the extraction and start the mission again. Choose a convenient method for you, and remember about the rules of gaining affinity. Warframe kills, 100% of experience is assigned to the Warframe. Weapon kills, 50-50 to the weapon and Warframe. Team member kills, 25% to the Warframe, 75% is distributed to the weapons you have at the moment. A detailed explanation of how sharing affinity works is in a video that you can see in the upper right corner right now. It is also in the description. Affinity boosters increase the amount of gained focus. Once the lens have been inserted, it cannot be removed, only destroyed. The second method of gaining focus, the one without focus lens, is available in the late game stages, after the Angels of the Zarimman story quest. After it, you will have access to special missions where you will find opponents that add focus points to the currently active skill. But those enemies you will also face after the Duviri Paradox story quest, especially on mode named the Circuit. And if you want to play it on the Steel Path, due to the high level of enemies, you will reach the daily limit there extremely fast. Speaking of limits, the amount of focus you can get is limited per day. The daily limit is determined by the formula: 250,000 plus 5000 times your current mastery rank. Okay, now you know what focus is and how to get it. Let's see what you can unlock with it. Each skill consists of 10 perks, active and passive ones. Almost all of them have 3 upgrade levels. There is always a skill that is representative of the skill, the middle one. There's also one additional passive perk in the same shape. Other are in pairs. 2 perks for the first skill, 2 for the second. 2 perks are active, doable by special actions. The last 2 are the only 4th tier. 4th level require 1,000,000 focus points and the brilliant Eidolon shard. This shard can be obtained from the captured Eidolons. I will cover that topic in some other material. After such upgrade, this perk will be available globally, regardless of the currently active school. Speaking of shards, they are also used to add focus points to any school. These amounts are beyond the daily limit. In the lower right corner, there is also a shop in which you can buy decorations and cosmetic items for focus points. Knowing the structure, let's discuss how does specific tree function. Let's start with Madurai. The main skill increases physical and operators damage. Passive perks, with the option to be a global ones, are increased energy capacity for amps and void beam, and its increased regeneration. The local passive is the ability to gain more critical damage on the operator and faster ability use in Warframe. This passive activates when you switch between Warframe and operator. The first active skill consumes all available energy and converts every percent of it into 10% more damage for 8 seconds. Developing this skill increases the weapon's efficiency by 40% during its active, both operators and Warframes. The second skill, the operator creates a wave which weakens hit enemies, so they are 50% more susceptible to operator's attack. Developing the skill causes opponents under its influence to extend the effect on their death onto other enemies. Additionally, increases their susceptibility to operator's attack. Additional skills in Madurai affect efficiency of Void Sling, former Void Dash, by 50% and add 40% strength for 20 seconds after performing a series of jumps. Now let's move on to Zenurik. Main skill: each picked up energy orb has a 50% chance to give extra energy for the next 5 seconds. An additional passive allows you to use Warframe skills with no energy cost, once every 60 seconds. Skills which can be global. Increase the amount of the operator's energy and the rate of its regeneration. First active ability creates a bubble inside which energy regenerates. After exiting the bubble, energy is renewed for another 30 seconds. After developing it, you can use this skill again inside the bubble to increase its range, duration, and additionally add 20% of power strength for the duration of the regeneration. The second active ability creates an area that slows enemies down. Development increases headshot damage to slowed enemies. Additional skills have a 50% chance to disarm enemies after slinging through them. The second ability here increases the operator's energy regeneration rate by 10% for 10 seconds after killing a disarmed enemy, stacks up to 4 times. Naramon. The main skill guarantees a slow combo reduction while out of combat instead of depleting it completely. The passive guarantees 45% more affinity for melee kills. 4-level passives increase the Void Sling range and the speed of the operator's movement. The first active ability creates a wave that hits enemies and suspends them for 4 seconds in the air. Upgrade guarantees 50% more damage for 60 seconds for each suspended enemy, stacks up to 4 times. The second ability increases the width of the next Void Sling by 200%. Enemies hit by it become vulnerable to finishers, which deal 30% more damage. This upgrade guarantees an increased critical chance on melee weapon by 50% for 40 seconds, if you start a finisher with an operator. Additional skills: Slam attack in the operator's form summons Warframe, after which it will gain 2 times more combo for 20 seconds. And returning to the operator with a multiplier times 8 or higher increases the damage of the amp by 100% for 40 seconds. Vazarin. The main skill increases the affinity range by 25 meters. Passive 1. The first 4 revives on a player, ally or companion are instant. The next ones are 100% faster. Global passives increase the armor, health and health regeneration rate of the operator. First active skill creates a shield that protects the operator and allies. Its base health is 500. This value can increase if the shield takes damage in the first 4 seconds after creating, like Rhino's Iron Skin. Upgrade gives the shield a 150% regeneration rate for Warframes after depleting a shield and reduces shield regeneration delay by 80%. Skill lasts 12 seconds. Second skill. Fires a projectile that can be detonated by pressing the skill button again, or detonates itself after hitting a surface or a target. Creates a vortex that lasts 8 seconds. Void Sling through trapped enemies grants 100 health to allies within affinity range. A development adds special effects to Void Sling when it hit allies. They are immune to damage for 5 seconds and heal 60% of their health for the next 5 seconds. An additional skill is healing the operator while in void mode, more if you hide longer. You can develop this skill, and achieving maximum health regeneration will cause you to heal allies within your affinity range as well. The last skill is Unairu. The main skill gives resistance to slow, stun and knockdown statuses after using transference, changing back and forth from Warframe to operator. Additional passive. Increases the operator's and Warframe's armor by 200. Possible global passives. Summon an operator after the death of a Warframe. Killing with operator in this state recharges the bar, which fully charged revives the Warframe. In this state you can increase the operator's damage with the next perk. The first active skill creates a field within which opponents' shields are disabled. By developing this skill, you can leave created field using Sling, thereby expanding its duration and increasing skill radius. Second active skill fires a bomb which can be also detonated in flight by pressing the skill button again. Explosion causes enemies to lose 100 of their armor within 8 meters. Additional skills in this skill: Warframe immunity to damage for 4 seconds after killing the operator. When operator dies, you can use the action key to summon your Warframe in the place of his death. Additionally, with the next skill, you can get rid of the Warframe's transference disruptions, which causes Warframe's health reduction, and is applied for some time after death in operator form. Applying transference disruptions multiple times will result in Warframe's death. And that's all in this video. The next one will be about amps, how and where to assemble them, and what effects and actions of individual components are. If you have any questions, please type them in the comment section or visit one of my streams, link in the description. See you next time, bye.